I'm pleased to be here with vocalist Ava Preston, guitarist and vocalist Moises Borges, who will be appearing at Bop Stop this Saturday in a duo concert and a bit of a homecoming concert. Thank you both for being with me today.
Thank you for
It's a
having us.
pleasure.
Appreciate it.
So, I'm very interested in how the two of you came together. I hope it's no insult, Senor Borges, to say that there seems to be, a generational divide between you, but not a musical divide. So, whoever would like to speak first, maybe Senor Borges, tell me how the two of you came together um, in this musical partnership that's been going on for a couple of years right now.
Yes, probably 4 years, right, Ava? Um,
Yeah, I think yeah, I think maybe even longer because it was like probably a year before COVID, right?
that's right. I was practicing guitar with a friend near a place where Ava was performing with a band, and I didn't know. But after a guitar practice session, we both got hungry, and I asked him, "Is there any place around here with live music?" He said, "Yes, let's go to this place." And then we went there for dinner, and there was Ava singing, and I was so like, wow, this girl can do it really nice. After she finished singing, we talked and realized that we could actually work on something together. And I think I knew some of her friends, and that's how we started getting connected. Ava has more details on that. What do you remember about it, Ava?
Oh, yeah. We were at I was at a restaurant or this outdoor concert venue. And I remember I was playing a gig and yeah, we had some mutual friends and they introduced me to you. And then we started just jamming together for bossa nova things. You called me for a couple of shows. And then what I really remember us getting very locked in was when COVID hit and we started doing all those outdoor concerts. And you taught me a lot of the lesser known bossa nova standards. And I would sing them in English and you would sing them in Portuguese. And it would just be a great time. I mean, I'd be soloing, you'd be soloing. We do sometimes we do the mouth trumpet. But yeah, I remember during COVID, we just did so many outdoor concerts.
That was really nice at that part of the summer because during the COVID also there was one thing, all the musicians were available. So
Hmm.
we could have any band we want. That was nice.
How did you rehearse during COVID? Did you do it via Zoom or did you just wing it on the stand when you had a live gig?
I don't remember rehearsing. Do you, Eva?
I think maybe when we did gigs right before COVID, we may have rehearsed a couple times. But during the outdoor concert sort of season, it was just you'd send me a couple links for songs and then I'd show up and we'd just kind of wing it on the gig. It'd be so much fun. It would change every time and then we sort of settled in sort of forms that we liked.
It was an informal concert, you know. It was on, we called it the front lawn concert series. It was pretty much like a community event because the host of the house would get together with a couple of neighbors to put some money, a little money down, and invite other friends and neighbors, and everybody is supposed to tip in, and that's how we did it. So we would invite some musicians and go to the front lawns and ask them to be with the lawn chairs 6 feet apart from each other, bring a bring a tip jar, and that was pretty much how it happened. Probably on the first summer of the COVID, Dylan that played with me, Dylan is the drummer. He said we played about 70 gigs on the first summer of COVID and about 80 on the second summer. All we needed was a sunny day because everybody wants live music. And then the TV started coming in and showing the community what we were doing, which was great because of two things. Other musicians also started doing it, which was generating income, especially for musicians that they are the first ones to get fired when there's a crisis. And secondly, we were bringing joy to the neighborhoods because when you play in neighborhoods, many people that do not go to jazz concert could see the shows. Like ladies would be brought out by a caregiver with IV on and sit on their lawn, the front lawn, and another door. This woman comes out of the door with six kids behind her skirt, trying to see what's going on. So this type of people, they don't really go to their schools, but we could actually share to impose the music very much.
Yeah, that's what I really liked about that is that it would sort of connect everyone. And it was I love doing community engagement projects like that. It was a really fun
On the
time.
other hand, neighbors could hang out because usually sometimes they don't even know their neighbors. So we help them to meet each other. That was good.
You know, the more I hear about lockdown, which was a tremendously sad period for a lot of us for a lot of reasons, um, it seems that a lot of creativity and a lot of wonderful things have come out of that kind of dark interval. And I love that you've brought people together and saw it as a positive experience. Were you approached by anybody maybe after the lockdown eased up who came to a performance and said, you know, I heard you for the first time on my neighbor's front lawn and you're so wonderful. It's great to come out and see you afterwards elsewhere in a professional setting. Did anybody, you know, remember you and thank you for those performances?
Yeah.
Me,
Yeah. I think I do remember a couple people saying, I remember when you were at our house party, or I remember this one day for this little festival. It's nice to hear you. I think it was Blue Jazz. It's nice to hear you in the club at Blue Jazz or at Bop Stop. Yeah, it was a couple people.
Oh, that's great. Um, and you had bands then? It wasn't just a duo thing? Even though you didn't rehearse, you had rhythm sections as well with you? That's crazy.
I remember we do a lot of duo, at least the ones that I was on. And then there was band stuff too. It just depended on the day.
the band already played with me, so they knew the drill, and it was easy to work with Ava because she had such a facility. She easily learns the songs and the lyrics and improvises over it. She just grabs it and throws back on her way. So that made it easy because the band could play anything I was playing. They were familiar with the tunes. Otherwise, they would learn on the flight. And Ava pretty much just had to get aware of a couple of songs that she was not aware yet. But we use the bossa nova songs that has a version in English, so that makes it easy for the American audience to, even sing along. Like the girl from Ipanema, for example, most of the Americans will be able to sing along with the English lyrics when Ava's singing.
Ms. Preston, you probably learned some Brazilian material, and it's, I have to say, it's the most beautiful music in the world.
Mhm.
And the Brazilian Portuguese language is the most beautiful language to sing in, I think. I'm just totally captivated by it. And you must have been too, but there's a particular kind of rhythmic approach and over the bar approach that I think is not easy to pick up. So, uh, do you find yourself now having a little more ease and facility with that kind of rhythmic conception? And what are some of your favorite new songs that Senor Borges introduced you to that you really love to sing that you didn't know before?
Oh, I think definitely some of my favorite to sing is Manhã de Carnaval, Day in the Life of a Fool. I love that one so much. I mean, Moises knows that's my favorite one, or one of mine at least. But also I like So Dança Samba. Um, what else? There's a couple others that are escaping me right now, but I do like summer samba. Summer samba is very cool. And then uh
You
hmm,
know, no more blues.
no
You
more, well,
always
of course, no more blues. But Triste, I like Triste. But yeah, in terms of the rhythmic approaches, a lot of what I did for Brazilian music was very clave based, the basic, rhythms. But then when I started working with Moises, there was I would hear from his singing and from his improvisation, both on guitar and vocally, there was, yeah, a lot of that over the bar motion, a lot of laying back. It wasn't extremely like on the beat or very formulaic. And it's more of like, and with all music, it's so much a feeling of like you need to find what works in the moment. It's not always gonna be, this works, this works. It can be like it completely transforms into something else, which is what I love about music and about Brazilian music and about jazz in general, is that there's so much rhythm, there's so much language, but it can always transform into something else too.
Have you done the like forró and kind of, nordestino kind of patter songs with the very fast, um, he's shaking his head, the very fast kind of, very precise syllabic stuff that just like rushes by?
Oh, I I don't think that we've done that together, but I am
Chorinho, that kind
familiar
of
with
thing.
that.
Yeah, there's only one song that I bring in that does have forró, and which is Cora Coralina. The original rhythm of the recording is actually it has four rhythms. It has forró, samba, coco or maracatu, and also samba de break, which is a slightly different accent of samba towards the end of the song. So that song we recorded with four different rhythms, and we do change the instrumentation accordingly when we change the rhythm. But for live performances, the percussionists also do that. They change the percussion and everything in the rhythm throughout the song. But that one song, I do not perform on the show with Ava because it does have some parts that's very fast speaking Portuguese, and we do not have a English translation that makes sense for that.
Yeah.
Brazilian metaphors, you know.
Miss Preston, are you singing in Portuguese now?
I do, but not with Moises because he sings the Portuguese. I sing the English.
Okay. And having this preparation, I'm sure you had to dabble in Brazilian music when you were at Juilliard. Um, did this experience help prepare you for that?
Yes, definitely.
Tell me
Um,
about it.
yeah, I mean there was even an audition requirement for Juilliard where we would have to learn a song from the Brazilian tradition in Portuguese. And then I think I remember asking you what it meant. It influenzo de jazz. I think I remember asking you, and you were telling me about like how it's I don't remember it exactly. It's been a couple years, but it was explaining like the importance of the samba and how it was, or the importance of Brazilian music. And it was a very deep song. But yeah, when I started doing some studies at Juilliard and they were bringing up, Brazilian music and all these different rhythms, I remembered learning these things from Moises, and it was super it was great to come in with that basis of knowledge already. Um and it made it a lot more fun too when we'd be asked to sing in Portuguese, or when we'd be asked to do like a sort of rhythm that I was familiar with, or maybe I didn't even know by name, but I was very comfortable with because I've been doing it for so long with Moises. But yeah, I mean, I had a blast, and it was nice to sort of talk about these things in class too, because we even had a discussion about capoeira once, and I knew, yeah, we did, and then like, okay, yes, I know the history of this because you taught a class on capoeira in my high school.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
So I learned about like Brazilian culture as well, and I've learned so much about that from you and about Bahia. and about like your family. And it's been, yeah, it was great to come into Juilliard with that deep level of knowledge already, and then build and expand upon that because there's so many things that I still don't know.
Yeah, that song influenced the jazz. It's a very interesting one because it's a song by Carlos Lira, the jazz influence. And Carlos Lira, he grew up with João Gilberto, Jobim, and other icons of the bossa nova right on the beginning of the 60s in Brazil, which was a very political time. Bossa nova started because of a political time when Brazil was getting investments and getting modernized. There was a lot of, new technologies. They were building the city of Brasilia, which is a capital. And so there was a lot of innovations. People were happy and getting also with a lot of technology. So that reflects with the bossa nova creation, which was a more elaborate type of music that accompanied that mindset of the Brazilians through the 60s. It was there was incentive from the government, and Carlos Lira, um, along with other authors, also felt that something was disconnected because bossa nova is like they were writing songs about modernity, about the city, the urban life, and the beach and beautiful things. But the reality of the whole Brazil was not being translated because there was a lot of migration, a lot of turmoils on politics, and there was a lot of poverty, and they did not find a way to actually put the reality through the music because that music was just painting that beautiful things of the Brazilian melodies and everything blended with jazz. So he wrote that song, The Influence of Jazz. Um, he did that using jazz rhythms to criticize the jazz with jazz style of chord progressions, with those extensions on the chords, and that was one of the songs that actually put him in a spot to be really projected out to new audiences.
Yeah. I want to ask you, when was the last time you played together?
Um, oh, it was probably the spring, right? March.
Right.
Yeah.
At Market Garden? Or
Um, there were a lot of it was we
Well,
had like
we didn't play at the Market Garden. We played in Akron Blue Jazz, and then we played one in a wine place with a room full of couches. That I liked that idea because it was a winery, a wine place on
Mhm.
West 25th on that little strip, Market Avenue. And the wine bar had a bunch of couches and little tables, and so it was like a big living room.
Yeah. We had like three or four.
Yes.
We had a lot of dates over because that was my spring break. So we just kind of filled up the calendar.
well, speaking of the calendar, a lot has happened from your spring break until this moment.
Yes.
Can you tell us about it a little bit?
Um, yes, I'm very honored and humble to announce that I won the 2026 Ella Fitzgerald competition. That was an amazing experience. I had such a
Congratulations.
thank you. It's always, such an honor to, perform the work of Ella Fitzgerald. And I did my own arrangements for this competition, and I submitted these arrangements of Gershwin tunes. Um, because they were celebrating George and Ira Gershwin this year. So I sort of made these arrangements that I was hearing in my head for these songs. I'm like, what if I do something different with these tunes? So like taking a ballad like I've Got a Crush on You, and I'm like, what if I make it a bossa? And I put in like a little bit, of some rhythms. It's not quite a samba because it's too slow to be a samba. But I'd have to ask you what exact rhythm it is. But no, I took this song. I'm like, yes, this is gonna work as bossa. And then I took something like But Not For Me, and I made it really fast, and I put a bunch of hits in there, made it like a totally like hard drive and swing thing. And then for How Long Has This Been Going On, I just sort of left that as it was originally performed, sort of just like the ballad with a little solo in the middle, and then, you know, singing the head out, but or the bridge out. But yeah, I mean, I had an excellent experience. I was able to perform at Blues Alley for the awards ceremony. I was able to perform with Satchel Vasandani, and I love him so much. I appreciate his artistry so much. I love listening to his music, and working with him was such an incredible experience. And I learned so much. We did a whole press conference talking about the history of Ella's music and how much she brings to the world of jazz and the world of music in general, and how much her voice has transcended sort of like I don't want to say the ravages of time, but her voice has transcended over many, many years and is still relevant. We had about an hour-long press conference on it, and that was very informative, learning from him, learning from the owner, Harry Schnipper, and yeah, it was just an incredible experience, and I'm so honored. And I also graduated from Juilliard in May, so it was a big year for me.
And you're what? You're like 17 years old, right?
No, no. I'm 21. I'm 21 years.
Oh, you can actually buy a drink in the places
Yes,
you're
I can
playing.
buy. Yeah, on October 7th of 2025, I turned 2021.
There
I
you
did. I turned
go.
21, and yeah, now I can buy a drink in the bars that I perform in.
Oh, that's awesome. Um, and and you're obviously playing Bop Stop this weekend. Tell me a little about that gig and what the material might be like.
Um, well, I think that we're gonna do. Oh, you still there, Moises?
He's back.
Okay.
He got frozen and now he's back.
Well, I don't want to answer this without him, but I will say that we're definitely going to do some bossa nova. We're going to celebrate, the legends of the bossa nova music. We're going to explore the history, sort of juxtaposing the Portuguese with the English lyrics, and it's all about connecting with the audience too. It's gonna be a fun time. It's just like I think the show is called it's a very special bossa nova night, and it's gonna be a special night. But
Senor Borges, you did a wardrobe change during the break.
No, I didn't. But my electricity is in and out, so my computer shut down. I had to go back to the telephone.
Okay. Well, it all works out. We were talking about the gig on Saturday night. You put a band together for this one. Tell me about the band.
Yes, my very good friends, bass band that we have been playing for years together, which is Gary April on bass. He's a New Yorker jazz musician, guitar and bass player. I will have Liam Smith on drums. Liam is he graduated from Oberlin, and he started specializing himself with the Brazilian rhythms, along with Dylan and Patrick Duke. So he has a great deal of exposure with the Brazilian rhythms. And we have Chris Burge on saxophone, which I couldn't ask for any better. Chris and Ava also, they have this chemistry of solos on stage. They do this little battle with some
yeah,
of the songs. That is amazing.
that's fun.
Ava goes with vocals and with her mouth trumpet. And then Chris does on the saxophone and some. It's really cool. You see how my electricity is going on and out.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it doesn't do that on Saturday night. So it's Saturday night at Bop Stop that is the 11th of July. And full band, Ava Preston, Moises Borges. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. Vai Seleção and lift the bandstand on Saturday.
Thank you. That was nice that you could have some time to host us. I appreciate that, Sean, and Ava as well. I know she's very
Yeah.
busy doing her thing in New York.
Great. It was wonderful to be with you today. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.